Hey, hi there. I know you need some support right now. If you want to say why, that's not my jurisdiction to really say, but I know you need support right now. So, um, that's what I'm coming on here to do. Stuff always doesn't happen the way we want it to. Sometimes it just isn't meant to be, and you don't really understand why. My life is nowhere where I thought it was going to be 4 years ago. You know this. Um, like when I graduated high school, I had no idea that I was going to be like here. Like my job was different, my housing situation was different, everything was different 4 years ago. Even what I was going for school for was different. And since then, not only have I changed my major, but I've also dropped out. Clearly in no hurry to really get those 10 classes. The career that I have right now, I don't really need to finish school because I still have the opportunity to move up in this career without finishing school, because everything that I need to know I can't learn in school. I have to learn on the job site. With new management coming in, my general manager Trish, who we've mentioned before in the camping vlogs, she is seriously thinking about going to district manager, and that will open up the opportunity for me to become general manager. And none of that I could have done by going to college. Actually, college would actually hinder me from doing so. Even if I were to finish up my college experience and get my major, even to go into the field that I would want to do, I would still have to take some sort of unpaid internship, like full time, in order to do it. The job that I'm in now, I make enough to pay my bills and stuff, and I will be making more with this next paycheck. And also at the beginning of the year, and that is more profitable for me right now than finishing college. You have to regroup, and you have to figure out what's good for you at that moment. And like I've talked to you about before, and you have said to me before, whatever is going to profit you the most, whether that's staying in the state, whether that's going out, or that's regrouping and kind of changing your entire career path, it ultimately, whatever you do needs to help you. No matter how much you're pushing or stressing about it, it will happen. There will be some bumps along the way. There will be some kickback and stuff like that, but it won't be as stressful as you trying to fit a square peg in a round hole. Not to say that everything that you've done so far has been for nothing. I know that it could feel like that, and I know that it's a very scary and disappointing thought that everything that you've done up to this point has been for nothing. It happens, you regroup, you come back from it, and that experience is there, and you're never going to have it again. But it's there. Just because you're not doing the exact thing that you thought you were going to be doing 4 years ago, or even your entire life, because I know that you've had this goal set on you since day one, but maybe you find a new passion that you didn't even expect to, 4 years ago. It suddenly just comes out of the blue. And that's totally normal, and that's okay. Stranger things have happened. I mean, the Cubs won the World Series last year. They are still in the running this year, too, which is the crazy part. They just have to win tonight. But, stranger things have happened. Just because it's not the straight and linear path that you thought it was going to be, or just because it's not the straight and linear path that you hoped it would be, doesn't necessarily mean that all hope is lost. It just means that there's a new path. There are always more than one direction to get to one place. Maybe you'll end up at a totally new destination than what you originally thought. That's okay, as long as you are doing what you want to do. Maybe you find a new passion. It's like, I like this way better than what I was doing before. And that's okay. You can have more than one passion throughout your life. Personalities are fluid. Some people, they stay the same person their entire life. Some people, they change month to month. I'm a totally different person at work than I am at home, and that's alright. I'm way more outgoing and way more energetic at work, and that's okay. And because that's something that I actually know I can do now. And it slowly became my new passion, even though, like, there are times when I still don't like to do it, but it's work. It's, nobody ever really likes to do work. They say, love what you do and you'll never work a day in your life. But, it still works sometimes. Everything you do is not all going to be sunshine and rainbows. There is going to be some pitfalls. There is going to be some stumbles along the way, but that's okay. That doesn't mean that you're not meant to not do this. And even though it might seem major at this point, and it is for that section, but there are all these other different sections that you could do with the knowledge that you gain. You can do a podcast, you can do this YouTube channel. Just because we didn't meet the criteria that the structured linear path says we have to make, that doesn't mean that it's all for nothing. There are many people that you and I know look up to today, and they are college dropouts, they're high school dropouts, and they're like one of the most successful people that we know, or they don't do anything with the degree that they had. Rhett and Link are engineers. They don't do anything with their engineering degree. The people that made VeggieTales dropped out of Bible college. They're some of the most successful people because they thought outside the box. And instead of just doing this traditional form of their job and just like kind of doing what they were told, they were able to create, Microsoft, big idea, an entire platform. That's not to say that, drop out of college or do whatever because, some of the most successful people are. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that the knowledge that we have, we can either use to think outside the box or just go with the straight and narrow and just do what we're told. And either one of those are good depending on the personality and depending on what you yourself can do. And again, that's very personality driven. But if you're not meant to do that, then okay, regroup. Think of another strategy. Just because you lose a game doesn't mean you just throw in a towel and never do a game again. That's not what it is. You keep going with that game, but you sit and regroup and re-strategize. Or if you're losing a game, you sit and re-strategize. Who are you going to put in? Who needs to change position? What do we need to do in order to maybe not exactly win the game, but, just not make it a total loss. Because there's always the next game. Maybe it's just the opposing team is better than us. And that's okay. You can't be the best at everything. But the next game, you don't just go in and forfeit just because the other team won the last time. That's not how life works. Just because something is being thrown at you at that point that you can't handle or you can't beat doesn't mean that you just need to give up. And that's something that I'm struggling with too. And, it's a really hard concept. I think that's one of the biggest, hardest lessons to learn is from being an adult is no matter what's being thrown at you, no matter what kind of life situation is being thrown at you, doesn't mean you can just quit. You might not be able to beat it at that time. You might have a meltdown. That's okay. You get up, you move on because the next game is coming and you need to be in the right mindset in order to win because if not, you're just going to forfeit and be miserable. And it's just going to compound into this cycle. And nobody's ever going to be an undefeated team. Everybody has stuff in their life. Maybe you only lose by a little bit. Maybe you lose by a lot. Maybe you never won a game before. And you win one game. And that's the best thing that's ever happened to you. And that's okay. You're trying your best. It's not whether you win or lose. It's how you play the game. That's, life. It doesn't matter whether you win or lose at life. It doesn't matter whether you're, completely successful or never get out of the town that you grew up in. Just as long as you live life to the fullest as you see the fullest, And it's how you live your life, how you treat the other people around you, and how you encourage others, and how you help others. And if you are trying your best, even if you're not the 100% winner, you are a winner in somebody else's eyes. Because people root for the underdog. I mean, the Cubs. Going back to the Cubs, they won. After 108 years, they won the World Series. Like, even though everything was in their way, even though there was the curse of the GOAT and everything, they still won the World Series. And they might win again this year. I don't even know how inspiring, how other inspiring that can be at this exact moment in time. That it doesn't matter whether you lose all the time. If you just win one, even if it's a small victory, it can totally rewrite your mindset. And you know what? You might not have that victory in the game that you're playing. Maybe football isn't the game for you. Maybe it's baseball. Maybe you need to change your entire game. That's okay. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter how much money is in your bank account. It doesn't matter how many degrees you have. It matters how you lived your life and who you helped in the process. The amount of money, the amount of degrees, the amount of your worldly possessions, whatever, are not going to be at your funeral. The people that you love and that care about you are going to be there. And it only comes when you're pouring your entire heart and soul into something. And people see that. I think I gotten totally off topic. If you just continue with one path, then you're missing out on all these experiences that you can have. And you know, maybe those are the experiences that you're meant to be having rather than what you're seeing. Tunnel vision is hard to get out of. It really is. But try to see the bigger picture. Try to see why everything's happening and learn from it. And rather than being disappointed, rather than giving up, rather than feeling defeated, look and see. Do I need to change my tactics? Do I need to change my game plan? Do I need to change my entire game? What do I need to do in order to feel fulfilled, in my opinion? But also remember what it means to be fulfilled, and not get too wrapped up in what's going to make me the money, what's going to make me be able to pay off my college loans, what's going to make me the most successful in the world's point of view, because they're not going to be there for everything. It's the people that you love and the people that you care about. And sometimes the only reason that you can do that is because you are doing something totally out of the box, but you still love it. And you love the people that are in it, and you love everything that you've done. And if something's not working, you need to change tactics. And that was the whole reason that I wanted to move out of Indiana in the first place. If you remember, I wanted to change tactics because nothing was working. And I finally found something that actually worked. And then it's I don't need to move out of Indiana. I just had to change my game plan. And so just think about that. Take a good look at yourself. Think about that and know that you are more than numbers. You are more than anything. You can be successful even if it's not the way that you are intending. And I hope this has helped. Alright. Bye.